Whispers from the attic. A descent into shadow. Dare to unlock the secrets hidden within the walls of Blackwood Manor? Some doors are best left unopened, some whispers best left unheard. Blackwood Manor stood sentinel at the edge of Oakhaven, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised twilight sky. Decades had passed since its abandonment, each year layering on more dread, more whispered tales of a darkness that clung to its very foundations. The townsfolk spoke of mournful sighs carried on the wind, emanating from the attic, a chorus of lost souls trapped within its decaying embrace. They said the windows were not glass, but vacant eyes, watching, waiting. The Millers, oblivious or perhaps defiant, saw only potential. They were a family seeking a fresh start, a haven from their own personal storms. They scrubbed away the grime, hammered nails into rotting wood, and attempted to breathe life back into the corpse of a home. But some wounds run too deep, some shadows refuse to be banished. Emily, the Miller's teenage daughter, felt it first. A prickling unease that settled deep in her bones, a sense of being watched by unseen eyes. The whispers began subtly, a faint susurrus that she initially dismissed as the wind whistling through the broken panes. But the wind didn't call her name. The voice was soft, almost childlike, yet laced with an unbearable sorrow. It echoed from the attic, a siren's call in the dead of night. "Emily, help me," it pleaded, the sound weaving its way into her dreams, poisoning her waking hours. Sleep offered no escape, only visions of shadowed figures and a desperate outstretched hand. Driven by a morbid curiosity and a growing sense of dread, Emily found herself drawn to the attic. The stairs groaned under her weight, each step a prelude to the horrors that awaited above. The air grew colder, heavier as she ascended, the scent of dust and decay filling her lungs. The attic door was a barrier between worlds, a rusted lock guarding secrets best left buried. It was sealed shut, a testament to years of neglect and the unspoken fear that gripped the town. But as Emily reached for the handle, a chilling sensation washed over her. The metal was ice-cold, vibrating with an unseen energy. The lock clicked open with a sound like bones breaking. The door creaked inward, revealing a cavernous space shrouded in shadows. Moonlight filtered through cracks in the boarded-up windows, casting eerie patterns on the dust-covered furniture. The air hung thick with the weight of forgotten memories and unspeakable tragedies. Ghostly shapes loomed in the darkness, furniture draped in white sheets resembling shrouded figures. The temperature plummeted, and Emily felt a presence, a malevolent force that watched her every move. The whispers intensified, a cacophony of voices begging for release. In the center of the room stood a mirror, its surface obscured by a heavy black cloth. It was an antique, its ornate frame carved with grotesque figures that seemed to writhe in the dim light. The whispers coalesced around it, focusing on this single ominous object. "Free him. He's trapped." Emily's heart pounded in her chest, a frantic drumbeat against the silence. She knew, with a certainty that chilled her to the core, that whatever lay beneath that cloth was not meant to be seen. But the whispers were relentless, the pull irresistible. With trembling hands, she reached for the cloth and pulled it away. The mirror shimmered, its surface rippling like disturbed water. It wasn't her reflection that stared back, but a vision of pure, unadulterated terror. A young boy, no older than 10, was trapped within the glass. His face was pale, his eyes wide with a fear that transcended understanding. His hands were pressed against the surface, as if desperately trying to escape. His mouth moved, but no sound escaped his lips. Then, from the depths of the mirror, a darkness stirred. A shadowy figure, its form twisted and unnatural, began to coalesce behind the boy. Its limbs were elongated and grotesque, its fingers tipped with razor-sharp claws. It was a creature born of nightmares, a manifestation of the evil that permeated Blackwood Manor. The boy's eyes widened in horror as the figure reached for him. He struggled against the glass, his silent screams echoing in Emily's mind. The shadowy figure grasped him, its claws sinking into his flesh, and dragged him back into the abyss. The mirror went dark, the boy's image fading into nothingness. Emily stumbled back, her mind reeling from the horror she had witnessed. The whispers ceased, replaced by an oppressive silence that was even more terrifying. The attic was empty, the mirror reflecting only her own pale, terrified face. The next morning, Emily was found curled up on the attic floor, her eyes wide and vacant. She couldn't speak, couldn't explain the horrors she had seen. She could only stare at the mirror, now cracked down the center, a permanent scar on its surface. Her parents dismissed it as a nightmare, a product of the stress of moving and the unsettling atmosphere of the old house. But Emily knew better. She knew that she had opened a door to a world of darkness, a world that had now taken an interest in her. That night, as she lay in bed, the whispers returned. They were closer now, more intimate, as if they were coming from inside her own head. "Now it's your turn," they hissed, their voices laced with a chilling anticipation. The shadows in her room deepened, coalescing into familiar shapes. The mirror on her wall shimmered, its surface reflecting not her own image, but the empty, desolate landscape of the world within. A hand reached out from the glass, beckoning her to join the lost souls trapped within Blackwood Manor. Emily tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. She was paralyzed with fear, unable to move as the darkness enveloped her. The last thing she saw was the cracked mirror, reflecting her own terrified face as she was pulled into the abyss. The Millers never understood what happened to Emily. They searched the house, the grounds, the entire town, but she was gone without a trace. They eventually moved away, unable to bear the weight of their grief and the unsettling atmosphere of Blackwood Manor. The house remained empty, its windows like hollow eyes staring into the darkness. The whispers continued, growing louder with each passing year. They spoke of Emily, of the boy in the mirror, of the shadowy figure that lurked within the walls, and they waited patiently for their next victim. Years later, another family, drawn by the allure of a bargain and the promise of a fresh start, purchased Blackwood Manor. They dismissed the rumors as mere superstition, unaware of the darkness that awaited them. Their teenage daughter, Sarah, was the first to hear the whispers. The cycle begins anew. Or is it just the beginning? Do you dare to delve deeper into the mysteries of Blackwood Manor? The whispers are calling. Can you resist their allure? Don't let the shadows consume you. Share this chilling tale with your friends, and let them experience the terror of Whispers from the Attic. Subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling stories that will keep you up at night. And remember, some doors are best left unopened, unless you're brave enough to face the darkness within.